And we're not on YouTube because I made
We're
a
not
mistake.
live. Are we live?
We are live, but I made a mistake. I forgot to set the channels today.
Okay,
So
hold on.
I didn't get it right. So
So, why don't you talk amongst yourselves, and
I
I'll get
was
that squared
I
away.
was I was looking. Yeah, it says I see the live on my profile picture. So we weren't actually live on Facebook, and we weren't actually live on YouTube for a few seconds. But I caught it.
Oh, okay.
I caught it, and we are in fact live, like we're
Yeah,
supposed
okay.
to be.
I can see us on Facebook. Okay.
Yeah, I can see us on. I can see us on Facebook. I can read
Okay.
us on Facebook. But I was trying to figure out why I didn't see the red live that we were live on Facebook and or YouTube because I forgot to set YouTube and Facebook this morning. So that was my joke of the day. Now we'll get serious. Randy, go ahead.
So you got something turned on.
Oh, hold on. Oh, there we go.
Okay. So I think we should extend it to any man or woman that wears a uniform, or even a business suit, because some nurses, they're private nurses, they wear regular clothing. But any person that is in a position of saving lives, whether it's in a military standpoint or an ambulance person or a hospital or private practice, because they do save lives, and that's what we want to honor. The people who wouldn't think twice about running into a burning fire or running into a massive car pileup on the interstate highway or run into a gunfire. And I think they deserve just as much respect as those in the military. Now, since I mentioned the running into gunfire, I do want to do a follow up to yesterday when I was talking about the police officers who were shot and killed here in my hometown of York County. Um, what happened is that this woman who lives on a farm, and she had let me say, a boyfriend that is from hell, and that they had this big breakup, and she happened to be looking out her window and saw him out there, and he set her car on fire. So she called the police to say, someone just set my car on fire. I think it's my ex-boyfriend, but he's still out there. So the police responded to find out that it was indeed, they had to, first off, they had to get a warrant to go on this lady's property, okay? So that explains why they needed a warrant. So they got the warrant, went out to the lady's farm, and uh, they, uh, upon arrival, this dude starts shooting at him, okay? And kills three of them, and two are still in critical condition. And of course, he himself is dead by a police gunshot. Um, so, ladies, you might want to be very careful of who you're dating. Maybe get a background check done on a guy or something like that, or ask friends. So and so, is he a good guy to date? That kind of thing, because you don't want to have problems like this lady did here. So the police officers running into gunfire, not knowing where the guy's at, they deserve kudos. They deserve Red Shirt Friday honor as well, as our military personnel. Some of our military personnel are at peace. They're on their bases. They're in training, and some are actually on duty off the coast of I think it's Venezuela, to show these people we're not messing around. When we say we don't want your drugs, we don't want your criminals coming into our country. So they are an active duty, and at any point in time can be attacked. Just like when they're doing the coastal water patrol, and they're monitoring for pirates who are attacking and destroying oil tankers and so forth. So even though we're not at war, we kind of are at war with just has not been declared. So what do I have to do some stuff with here? I did post some old time uh, posters. Okay, I think it's pretty cute in their way because it kind of like um, uh, how do you get a man or a woman interested enough in uh, uh, going into the military? What do we have? What is it that someone wants to do? Go into the military with. So they come out with these really cutesy kind of posters, right? So let me grab this here. Bum 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 bum. Bring over here. Now these won't be full screen pictures because they're only posters, but they're cute in a way. I had to pull these here.
Okay.
Bum bum bum.
So you pull them and have them. I'm already on that carrier. I'm waiting for that.
So, gee, I wish I were a man. I'd join the Navy. Be a man and do it United States Navy way. Obviously back in the day, women weren't allowed in the military, so they had to uh, uh, entice the men to join up because every woman wants a man is in uniform, right? So we have that one. Let me get rid of him or her or whatever you want to call it. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. Whoops. This one here is actually a video. It's what they tried to do to get people back during the time of World War One to join up.
Okay.
We've watched you playing cricket and every kind of game.
At football, golf and polo, you men have made your name.
But now your country calls you to play your part in war.
And no matter what befalls you, we shall love you all the more.
So come and join the forces as your fathers did before. Oh, we don't want to lose you, but we think you ought to go. For your king and your country both need you so. We shall want you and miss you, but with all our might and main, we shall cheer you, thank you, kiss you when you come back again.
Oh, we don't want to lose you, but we think you ought to go. For your king and your country both need you so.
Okay. I kind of cut it there because we were going through the credits of.
So I was in more towards the British, but the Americans did the same thing. They did these really neat, lively Broadway kind of productions to get, in this case, it was the women to get the men riled up to join the military. And I kind of like them what it said, we don't want to lose you, but we think you should go. Like, okay, damn, you mean you might not come back? Yeah, I mean, the problem is we have gone to war so many times in defense of not only, I'm going to backtrack a second. Our country has gone off to war primarily for every other free breathing country.
Mhm.
Now, did we have to go? No. because our continent was not being threatened. Yeah, we had a couple what I think it was Japanese submarines they came to the coast, but they kind of like withered out or whatever happened to them that happened to them. Okay,
Mhm.
but we never had a missile strike, airplane strike, naval. We didn't have that kind of thing to. We really had to protect our own country. But what we did was we had that damn piece of paper that said that if you are attacked, we will come to war and defend you.
Right.
Okay. And so we did. We went off to war numerous times to protect these countries. But when you look at them today, it's like, what the hell did we waste our men for? Look at how they're living. I mean, they're almost like a communist country. They have all these illegals who are controlling their parliament, controlling their local government, controlling the way they live, and we did it for nothing.
Yep.
At least we have a president right now who recognizes the dangers of having these illegals in our country who are having just because of sheer size of numbers, they would at some point have some type of
Right.
reflection on who gets elected, and then who gets elected is going to determine what kind of laws we're going to pass.
Right. If you were an illegal and you came in illegally, but you laid down on the ground and sat there and waited for an ICE mobile patrol, and then held your hand up in the air and said, I'm here to claim asylum, I would have more respect for you than if you just came across the border and kept going until you found a comfortable place to be. Everybody is entitled to the American dream, as I have said, but some people are taking advantage of the American dream. Go ahead, Randy.
I am going to highly disagree with that comment.
Okay.
So if I understand it correctly, so the proper way to communicate is to speak back what the person said, so they know that I understand what they're saying. And if I misunderstand, then you correct. So that's proper communication.
No, you're allowed to speak. If you have a different view, you're allowed to speak.
So what I'm trying to say is this. If I understand you correctly, you're saying that you would have more respect for an illegal who comes into our country, who sees the ICE agent, he throws himself to the ground, raises his hands up, and he says, "I'm here for asylum." Okay,
Yes.
I disagree with that because, as we know, these illegals are being taught what to say, how to say, what to have on their person, and so forth when they hit American soil to help them get in.
Well, okay, but you're believing that every illegal immigrant is a thug waiting to come here and be a thug. And I disagree with that view. I just believe that there are people that are coming here and they see what kind of line there is at the door to come in legally, and they come in illegally and jump the line and say, hey, look at me and whether or not I have a right to be here. If you want to believe that everyone who does that is a thug waiting to happen, then
now I'm not saying that every illegal that comes to our country is a thug. I do believe that there are some who would rather have a chance for himself or his wife or his family to have a better way of life, a better living condition. Okay. But you have to do it legally. You have the Europeans. Okay. I'm going to talk to, for example, the English people. Okay. They come here legally because of their employment possibilities. They have intelligence. They have something. First of all, they have something to give to the country in return for citizenship, and they have to know that there is a cost to it, and there's a test that has to be taken. Okay, and it takes years, but they did it legally. Those who are coming in here illegally shouldn't have the same. Shouldn't be able to step ahead of the line and say, "I'm here now. Give me my
Okay.
Social Security card. Give me my EBT card. Give me my Medicare. Give me my."
I'm not. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay, because I don't even believe in giving. If you come in legally, you shouldn't just automatically be handed all of that stuff. Okay, you have to earn that stuff. I didn't get handed a free phone. I didn't get handed free internet. I didn't get handed free Medicare, free health care. I had to earn it. Okay. And those people coming in legally shouldn't be showered with all that stuff as gifts for doing it either. But if you think the only way you're going to get in and be legal, this is what some of those people are doing. They're not going through the door. I personally also do think that you should start the process in Mexico before you get here. Go to our embassy in Mexico and plead asylum. Once you do that, they're going to help you get here. They're going to make sure you get here. There are some that, that may be screwed up enough to think that the only way to get here is to pay $10,000 and be put in the back of a truck and driven across the border, and you hope you're alive when you get here. It's not happening. And the truck is getting in here legally. So there's something wrong. There's something wrong there. The whole system is wrong. Painting a mural on the Mexico side that looks attractive that says, hey, go to the United States. Obviously, put you in some serious harm when you slide over and the United States side is painted so black that you burn yourself trying to do it.
Well, the fence is painted. I guess they're painting the fence black now because someone came up with the idea that the color black will get superheated in the sun, and there were some people who were successfully able to climb over Trump's fence, which is absolutely amazing to me. But I'm sorry, that they shouldn't, be allowed to come here illegally and be able to get, similar benefits as myself or my children. Do it legally. And first off, the ones who are coming here illegally have a debt to pay to the coyote who's going to get them across, hopefully safely, to the state and then into some kind of hiding place for them to live.
But it's a business. The coyote can't really guarantee that because you don't know what's
and
going
the fact
to happen.
that in some cases, from a standpoint of women and children, they're going to be sex trafficked, and that's how they're going to get across. And that's not. I'm sorry. Shut down the borders. Let the people come across legally, and that way you can ensure their safety, not only of getting across, because I guess it's like a huge desert and people are dying out there due to the conditions, but to get them to come across.
Obviously, they're not dying because you watch thousands of them. Well,
right, but
not under Trump, but you watch thousands of them under Biden come through every minute of the day.
Right, but the border people said that they had come across every on then occasion body because they weren't prepared for the heat and for the water and so forth. But so there are a small amount, but so even one death is too many. But if they got to the Mexican Mexican American border, they're stopped there. Let's get your information. Let's do a background check the best we can. Let's make sure that if you come into our country, you're going to not necessarily vote Democrat or Republican, but vote for the best person who's going to be good for our country.
It's okay. Go ahead.
No, I mean this is a conversation like we can beat to death.
It's not to me. It's not a question of how you're going to vote. To me, it's not a question of that. To me, it's no longer a discussion of you take a job that an American doesn't want and you raise your family. If you get in legally and you take a job that an American doesn't want and the company has to fill, hey, that was your ticket to get in here. You know, you rent a house, you buy a house, whatever. You send your kids to school, they grow up, and you know this whole thing about the wall is, yeah, the wall needs to be built. But from what I understand is, even if they build the wall the way they want to build the wall, there are parts of the border that go through Indian reservations who have already said they don't want the wall on the reservation. So there's a hole, and the hole isn't going to be plugged up any other way because the Indians don't want it there. Then you run into the problem. What do? Do we move the reservation someplace else and then close the hole? I mean, the whole thing is a mess, and you still have people that may or may not have come here legally, like Uncle Obama, who came and was given a deportation date order and never showed up for it.
And that's the big thing too. Like there, you tell these illegals, you know, they have to show up for their court hearing to determine who they are.
Well, why didn't my question is, why was he here 40 or 50 years later with a deportation order, and everyone knew where he was while he was here? It's not like, it's not like he almost T-boned a Framingham police car and no one knew who he was. He was well known in the town of Framingham. He either owned a liquor store or worked in the same liquor store the whole time he was here. So everybody knew they could come and take him down. And they finally did because, like I said, he almost T-boned the police car. The deportation order came up. He spent 2 weeks with ICE over in Quincy, Massachusetts. Came out as all the charges were dropped. Got his driver's license back because I guess he was drunk when he almost hit the police car, and everything was dropped, and he became a naturalized citizen. That crap has to stop. Obama, the president, says I had nothing to do with it. ICE did their investigation and decided that he was entitled to stay here. Well, 40, 50 years on the run being an illegal? No. Wait 40 or 50 years and then come back. Well, we can't send him home because he's going to get murdered because he's a bad guy over there. Well, you can't be a bad guy over there and then come over here and think that we owe you the right to not be a bad guy for 40 or 50 years.
I don't know. Either way, I think Trump is on the right track. And, just like other podcasts are talking, like Ray yesterday,
mm-hmm.
He was so upset that things that were promised to get done are not getting done.
That's true.
And, Trump just got handed another blow to his deportation. He wants to send back, I think it's like 100,000 Venezuelan children back to the country.
Right.
Their parents aren't here. Are
right.
They're a dad and a dad.
So we don't So we don't know who's picking them up. But it should be if we put 100 of them on a plane and fly to Venezuela, we have to have time to check whoever shows up and says, oh yeah, Johnny Rodriguez is mine. Sarah Rodriguez is mine. We have to have time through.
But do you realize
ICE to check out those people
Do you
before.
realize how long it would take to find out responsible parties for 100,000 plus kids?
Well, then that's the answer to your question. We're not sending them because we're not getting the answer. Ray also brought up a good, valid point about deportation. Have we seen anybody be deported other than being told you will be deported? Have we seen people get on a plane and actually watch the plane fly out of the country, and when it came back, it was empty? We hear people are going to be deported all the time. We hear that's why Alligator Alcatraz was built. It wasn't built to be another prison in Florida. It was built to be, you end up there because you're going to leave. Shortly after you get there, you're going to get on a plane and leave. Well, then there was talk, we want to close out Alligator Alcatraz because we think it's unfair, or we want to close out Alligator Alcatraz because it's not really built to be a prison. I mean, come on, you can't have it both ways. There has to be, if you say to a person, you are going to be deported, you keep them in custody somewhere and you make sure they get on the plane and they leave. And you make sure when the plane comes back, they're not on the plane. But like I said, have we seen anybody who was told they have to leave actually leave? With the exception of Abrego Garcia, who got arrested and did in fact get a deportation order and got sent to Venezuela or wherever CCOT is. I can't remember. I have dementia, but got CCOT and then got brought back and then got sent back, or is going to get sent back. I don't know.
Okay, this might answer your some of your questions.
Hold on. Okay.
Most of the attention that's been focused on the Trump administration's deportation plans has focused on arrests and removals of aliens unlawfully present in the United States. There's another separate deportation program that the Trump administration is running at this time that's received a lot less notice, and that is its voluntary deportation program. That program began on the president's first day in office, January 20th, 2025. In addition, the Trump administration has reconfigured the CBP One app that the Biden administration used to funnel hundreds of thousands of illegal migrants into the United States into the CBP One Home app that migrants can now use to identify themselves in the United States and to notify DHS of their intentions to return home voluntarily. At the same time, Secretary Noem has launched a multi-million-dollar ad campaign in which she warns illegal migrants outside the United States not to enter illegally and warns those who are currently present in the United States to go home voluntarily and potentially have a future opportunity to live the American dream. If they fail to go home voluntarily, Secretary Noem warns, they will lose that.
So
Okay. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I hit the wrong one. Okay.
You get rid of me.
There you go.
You fired me.
No, I didn't fire you. But
I've been deported.
See, that CBP app that Biden created was a laughing joke. Because it basically was what it said to be. You told the immigration authorities that you were going to that you wanted to come. They told you when to come and where to come. So it's basically the same thing as I said earlier. You told immigration when you were going to come. So in theory, you were supposedly detained until they figured out whether or not you could stay here or sent you home. Tom Homan, the border czar, says, no, they should have just been sent home. And if anyone volunteers to leave, yeah, well, you're volunteering to leave because you're illegal. But I bet there were thousands of those that volunteered to leave who were told by Democrat judges, oh, no, you can stay.
Unfortunately, the illegals are in a Batman said, where they're the birdie,
They
and they
are.
don't know who to listen to. You know, I'm going to be deported, by Trump, or I'm going to be able to stay by, So they're
Right. If immigration judges were people who actually did their job, they could say, okay, Randall Rhodes, step forward. They could look at the file. They could go through the file and say, okay, turn the page. Okay. In my head, Mr. Rhodes, you've shown 97% why you should stay. We're going to allow you to stay, but we're going to put quote unquote severe regulations on you, and we're going to watch you to make sure that you are what you say that you are. If you are not, we're going to haul you in and send you out of here. I mean, they did that basically to my brother-in-law. He came in from Peru, and it took, I think, 7 years. He and my sister had to go in for 7 years. Immigration was able to do sneak attacks on them for 7 years, and they had to prove why he's here, why he's passed away. He got sick and passed away. But they looked at everything. It was, you're not just getting married to him to make sure he can stay in this country. No, I'm not. And she wasn't. I mean, they were in love. They lived together. They took care of the place together. They both worked. And, you should be allowed to stay if you show that you should be allowed to stay. But no, if you show that you don't belong here, like you've been arrested 13, 14 times, and on your 15th time of being arrested, you killed somebody, no, you don't deserve the right to be here. But sending you home means that you're going to figure out a way to come back. Why? Because you did it 15 times before.
The sad thing here is this. These people came, to our country. Okay, let's put aside the illegal or the legal status. Okay, these people came to our country,
Okay.
and you know damn well when they vacated their homes, someone else walked in and said, "Ooh, a nice house. I'm going to live here," and then they take over the property of these people who left the country. So now we're sending these folks back to their country to what? They probably have no home. Okay, they have no job. So now they got to fend for themselves and try to rebuild their lives from scratch.
Well, maybe we should say to them, we can't send you back. You came from Ecuador. We can't send you back to Ecuador because our research shows that, yes, you are at great risk. But off the record, meaning so everybody understands, a judge can look at it and go, yes, you are in trouble if you go home, Mr. Rhodes. The King of England is going to kill you. But we can send you to, and maybe that's where you should go, while we have an embassy process whether or not we can keep you here. We can send you to an ally, and I don't mean sending you off to someplace that's going to send you off to someplace else, but we can send you to an ally country where you're going to be okay, and either make sure that you're making it there, or if you are making it there, a judge has evidence that you're making it there, and then, okay, well, if you made it there, I think you can make it in the United States. Every judge, I think, needs to be like Frank Capri, who's no longer a judge because he came down with a bad case of cancer. But he, in Rhode Island and everywhere else in the country, was very well known for, he would look at why you were in front of him And then he would say, how come you didn't pay this ticket or that ticket? And it led to warrants, or you lost your license. And the person would say, I just don't have enough to pay. And he would say, okay, what can you agree to pay? Not even today. We'll set up a date. What can you agree to pay? If you came in and you made those payments, that charge went away. We need more judges that can look and go, okay, these aren't really major reasons why you can't stay here. So let's work together and keep you here. But then again, he can look at someone else and go, been arrested 14 times, came back on the 15th time and killed somebody. No, you do not deserve to be here. Matter of fact, you don't deserve to be anywhere, and deal with it that way. Or just say, we're going to send you home and you have to fend for yourself. Why? Because you're the most terrible person in the world, and it's your fault. And if you get in trouble where you were, that's kind of your fault.
So let's change the subject. Are you going to be watching the Charlie Kirk funeral celebration this Sunday? I think it's at 2:00 or something like that.
I am going to watch as much as I can, because with my issues, I don't last in my chair at my desk very long. But I'm going to watch as much of it as I can, share it to as many groups as I can. Right now, today, Facebook has already nailed me because I tried to share us to 30 different groups. So they said, no, that's too much. So I can't share today. I am hoping that Sunday, the only thing I will do is make sure I share Charlie Kirk's funeral before Facebook takes my shares away, or I will go someplace else and share it. I'll share it to my YouTube. I'll share it somewhere else, and then I'll make sure I can take it and share it to other places besides the meta monopoly, as I call them, because you can't win against the meta monopoly, because they just have the monopoly over you 24/7, and it doesn't really matter what you do. I call them the meta monopoly because you get in trouble and can't do something on Facebook, but it's all over Threads and it's all over Instagram. And by all over, I mean 50 to 100 people reply to something stupid that I said, and they're all happy and they all agree with me. Or 10,000 people reply to something that was really stupid, but I do in fact say it all the time. And they let that one go. Someone asked me, where are you from? And I said, my mother. And 10,000 people so far have shared that post and think it was funny, and it was, and it was meant to be. But
unfortunately, you'll find out Democrats, for the most part, don't have a very good sense of humor.
Well, I'm at the point where I don't care who has a sense of humor and who doesn't. The rules are the same for everyone. And the biggest rule that I'm looking at joining and helping fight right now is that Facebook, Meta, the holding company for them all, makes billions of dollars a year using our internet for free. And then they take that billions of dollars a year and figure out how they can control us. I don't want that anymore. It shouldn't be that way. A radio station would lose their license for some things. A TV station would lose their license for some things and not be allowed to do it. So why is it okay for a social media company to abuse the internet that way and no action to be taken to them? And I don't want to hear that people took Facebook to court and they won $600 billion, because by the time it gets down to me, it's like 60 cents. And by the, so, I'm not interested in the 60 cents. I want them to admit that they did me wrong, and they can go, on this date, yeah, we did him wrong. On this date, we did him wrong. On this date, we did him wrong. On this date, we did him wrong. And then agree to not do it again. Because yesterday they took my sharing away for one. It must have been because of one post. It wasn't one post sent everywhere, but it was one post, one time. They took my sharing away yesterday. Social media, we're all on here to share. We're all on here to be with each other and share the things that we want to share. I even share things I don't want to share. There was a time in my 17 years of Facebook when I first became a group owner, I could write the news feed myself by reading the Facebook news feed.
Yeah.
And it was good stuff. It wasn't anything that could get me in trouble. But now if I say I like Charlie Kirk and I agree with everything that he did, and what he did was this, I get in trouble. Why? Because we're on a place where obviously Charlie Kirk was the devil incarnated, and they can't understand why I feel the same way.
Please don't get me wrong. I understand the importance of Charlie Kirk's life and what he's done and so forth, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when I see these commercials of these military men who are advertising for this, something, something the tower. It's where they come into your house and they redo your house and they make your house better so you can live, or they provide you with medical equipment that you didn't have or something, And it's to help these men coming back from combat who have been horrendously, their lives are changed because of
and they should get thanked for doing that. I believe this is me, Dave Glowman, not Charlie Kirk, on what you just spoke about. We have a responsibility to fix our men and women who come back broken, meaning that they just can't deal with life here. We have a responsibility to fix them. What's his name? Jesse Ventura. There's a video floating around from years ago. He came back to this country and he couldn't do things that a man is allowed to do where he was. He did what he was supposed to do. He came back to, I can't do half the things that I want to do that I was allowed to do. So he went back into his old commander's office, and he said to him, send me back.
Yeah.
Because I can't do anything. I left. I was 18 years old. I smoked cigarettes where I was because that's what, because I could do that. I couldn't drink. I got old enough to drink, and I drank, but everybody in the military drinks, they say. So, we took children and made them men because we didn't have, like you said earlier, we didn't have women in the military at the time. And now we take our children, men and women, and send them off somewhere and then bring them home. They come back broken, and our government doesn't want anything to do with them.
Yeah.
We need to fix them. We need to build people homes that can't afford to get a home. We need to build people homes that are broken and working on the work got fixed. We need to build them homes because they gave of themselves, and we owe them that. And generally, we don't do that. The guy who did the other show that both of us at times used to be on, his knees need to be fixed. His knees need to be fixed. They told him they would fix them, I believe, and they never did. Don't tell me that there are 4,000 people at the VA ahead of him. Fix them. Then they won't be ahead of him. We give all kinds of money to the VA. Fix. Obviously something needs to be fixed. Ask for more money if that's what it is. I mean, I always said it. If I was a senator and someone's paperwork came to me and said, we need more money, we don't get enough money to do the job that you want us to do. If I thought they were telling me the truth, I'd be on the side that says, okay, fine, give them more money. But if they come in and they say, we need more money, and it's like they need more money because they want to have parties and this and that, no. I mean, I know that we only have so much money to work with, but when you accept a child in the military, and then they get hurt, you have a responsibility to fix them.
Yeah. It's a mess,
To me, it's that easy.
You know what? Tell you, before we go run out of time here, I want to share something with you that a friend of ours shared with me.
Okay.
Pull it up here. It was an interesting article about something that our government is creating. Oh, frig. It's deleted.
Okay.
He deleted it back. Oh, frig.
Well, so tell us about it then.
Anyways, it was a aircraft that United States is building. It looks almost identical to a spaceship.
Okay.
And let me see if I can do it. Talk amongst yourself for a minute. Let me see if I can find it here.
I think we're very close to that, because the next generation is going to be the next generation of war, I guess, is going to be in space, if it's not already. And I hope that it isn't. I'm getting closer to thinking one of these days God is going to say, I've had enough, and hit his big red easy button, and there will be a big bang, and Earth, I don't know, whatever year old Earth is, there'll be Earth 2.0. And hopefully it will be different. But
hold on a second. Oops.
But we have to dive into God with different people and different views and agree to disagree, because there will be a bunch of different views. Because I'm different than you, and you might be different than someone else or someone watching, and we have to agree to disagree and then work on why we disagree.
Anyways, it was a diamond shape
Okay.
of a plane that they're building, and as soon as you look at it, you think that's a spaceship.
Okay.
So a couple of things come into my mind. Either like Michael Anthony's always saying, and others like him, that years back in the days of black and white TV, the aliens came to our president and made a deal. I'll share with you our technology to do one of two things. So actually, the conversation is, here it is. Hold on a second. He just sent it to me. Thank you, Daryl, for responding to me so quickly. Bum, bum, bum. Here we go.
Okay, wait a minute.
Let me share it to you. Let me pull it over here. Bum, 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 bum. Thank God for big screens so I can do all the stuff I do. Oh my! I'm actually thinking about adding a third monitor, and I'm really, really, really close to doing it.
stuff on. I just have all this stuff on my.
So here is the new construction for this new plane. Look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Does that not look like a friggin' spacecraft?
Maybe that's
that there's the engine, the power source right there.
You deleted a whole bunch of messages.
Who did?
You did.
I did. Oh, that's because I sent them to you by mistake. I wanted to send them.
Okay.
That was my material for today.
Yeah.
Your screen popped up. I'm going to share it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
So anyway, look, here's the power source here. And that's. Tell me that's not a spaceship. Tell me that somewhere along the lines we either shot one down, or just like I was saying earlier, two different alien species came to us as you know the scientific world wants to talk about. One came saying, "I bring you peace. I bring you the ability to rid your world of all this sickness, all this health, and you'll live forever." And this other guy came and said, "I bring you war. I bring you our technology to fly aircraft and to destroy your enemy." And the president at the time, I forget who it was, but he made a choice. He made a choice supposedly of the war. He wanted the technology to build these things to be just like them, so they go into war. In exchange, also, we were to give them human beings for a sacrifice.
Okay.
But when you see this, it's like, holy crap, that looks like a spaceship to me.
I don't think it was ritualistic sacrifice. I mean, I'm not saying that it couldn't have been, but I think the ones that wanted to help us and actually did, and the ones who didn't, or the ones who wanted to help us but for bad reasons, didn't. And we may have just taken the technology and been able to do something with it. But now we've moved on to Space Force. So wouldn't it make sense that more and more flying technology can fly over the United States, and they can push a button and go into space if they need to?
Yeah, I mean, it's extremely possible.
I mean, I am at a point where I agree with a lot of other people. I don't think we know what our government knows about everything, because our government just didn't want to give it to us or let us know about it. And now some of that stuff is being used against us. Blue lights from your computer, how it can affect you looking at a blue light tweet. That stuff's been around since like 1910.
Yeah. Now, I like the fact that I have these two 32-inch curved monitors, and they have the ability to change how you look at the images, as far as like changing the color, the aspect of it's supposed to be better for your brain, better for your eyes, and so forth. I did try changing it just for giggles and laughs. And I want to tell you what, it might be better for my health, but I could not freaking see the screen. I couldn't. It was more difficult for me to read it. And it's like, well, I'll put it back the way it was. And I'll deal with the health issues.
Well, nothing is getting shared by me. So if you are watching the broadcast, or you watch the broadcast, please take it and share it wherever you think it should be, on Facebook. And anybody else who's listening, we're up to 62 views, it says. So there's 62 people watching somewhere. I don't know where. So I hope the 62 of you share it to 62 of your friends, and just keep sharing it. Not because we want to merchandise. We could do that if we tried, if we really wanted to, but I don't really care about that. If you like the program, give it a thumbs up and say why. If you didn't like the program, give it a thumbs down and say why. But send it to everybody. We are here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. And we are here Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Those times are Eastern, so adjust yourself accordingly. And we're on other times whenever the mood hits us and we can do it as well. And it's generally Randy Rhodes and I and whoever wants to join us or whoever doesn't want to join us.
Good old faithful Randy.
Good old
Give him a pat on the head.
Hey, good old faithful Randy. I'm 63 years old. I have some health issues and I can't do everything myself. And I'm very glad that you're here because I don't have the patience to scan the internet for all the videos and things that I could bring in. My attraction is bringing in other people, letting them show the video, let them say what they need to say, let people who watch come on and say what they say. But anyway, we work together. We're always here. We're always here as a team. Sometimes I have to push Randy because he might have overslept. Sometimes Randy has to push me because I overslept. Sometimes we just
push each other.
Must be raising our hands at the same time, going, you know what? No, not today.
Yeah. I will agree that there is this. I worked like 10, 11 o'clock at night, and there are some times where it's like, I wake up in the morning and I don't know how the hell when I'm awake, but my phone starts dinging. I said, well, that must be Dave. And sure enough, there's Dave. It's like,
well, because Dave never knows, are you coming today or are you not coming today? I don't have a chat group where everybody can pull the link if they want it. And I'm not going to do that because I don't know who would get invited to the group and who wouldn't. It's just easier for me to know because I'm sitting down at a computer and I'm writing the promos and to say, this person's going to be on, this person's going to be on, that person's going to be on. And hope that because that person told me they were going to be on, they were actually behind the camera and what we do. Plus, it's easier. I'm sorry. It's easier for me to know who's going to be here and who isn't.
Well, the way I look at it, Dave, is if I wake up by 8 o'clock in the morning, it would take me like 30 minutes to drag my ass out of bed because it's so damn comfortable. But then, as long as I get my shower in and my 2 cups of coffee, I'm good to go on the show. Right?
I might get up, take a shower, drink a cup of coffee, climb back into bed, and do the broadcast. Do the broadcast from bed if I could. I'd stay in bed and do the broadcast if I could, but I'm not set up to do that.
Yeah, no, I can't. If I get up, get a shower, I'm good. I'm not going back to bed because I just won't. No, that's not the way I work. So I'll get up and the big thing with me is wash my hair. I gotta wash my hair because that's for some reason that wakes me up. I'm good to go. So
what are you gonna do when you get much older and you don't have any hair up there?
Hey, don't do that.
I'm younger than you and I have less up there than you do.
Well, the way I look at it, my father, he always had a nice head of hair. My uncle, on the other hand, he bought it early, and so did my brother. So I think I'm picking after my dad as far as keeping my hair.
They say it comes from your grandfathers.
Yeah.
Your
my
biological grandfathers.
But they also say that if you wear a hat a lot, that supposedly kills your hair off faster. So I don't wear a hat when I go outside, but anywho, it is my magical hour here.
It's 2 minutes after your hour. almost 3 minutes after your hour.
I should shave.
So I'm not going to pay you for the last 3 minutes.
There goes my candy bar.
Well, maybe I'll send you the candy bar.
You know what? I'll end with this. Do you guys ever, you go without a certain food for a long period of time? For us to be a candy bar, because when we used to drive and we would go for our groceries, what's the last thing you see before you check out? You see this damn rack full of candy, right? And it's like $2 for $1, $2 for $1.50 or something like that, right?
Nothing like $1.50
you know what?
each.
It's like, so you know what? I tell you what. Here, add these two. Do. And I'll add, like 4 candy bars, right? But now that I don't drive, I don't normally add that candy bar. So it's been years. So the other day, I decided to buy a Hershey chocolate bars, right? And they have it delivered.
Mhm.
It just didn't taste the same.
I don't know.
Now, I don't know if they changed the ingredients to where it tastes awful, or it's just the fact that, before I would eat I would eat candy bars all the time,
Yeah.
and I was used to the taste. But now it's like, I don't need it. My go-to cereal right now is Frosty Flakes. I love Frosty Flakes.
Oh, okay. No,
So what's your cereal of choice?
generally Cocoa Puffs, but right now
Mm.
it's switching to Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries and the generic through Walmart because it seems to taste better. I don't know why.
Taste better is cheaper. The
Oh,
sad
it's actually
thing.
more.
Oh, really?
Actually more.
Yeah. The thing is that when we were younger, we had small kids. Like, no, you can't have that. It's too much sugar in there. And here we are at our age. Like, I want my sugar candy. I want my sugar cereal. Oh, yeah. Life as you get old, right?
Life has to be good. And life has to be old.
That's what I gotta get going. I got some.
All right,
people.
Randy.
I got to take care of
You
my
want to tell people about what you're doing, what you do.
Sure. My go-to is I am a genealogist. I am very, 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 very affordable. Works out like 89 cents an hour. Reason being is I am disabled. I do collect the monthly checks. I don't need a lot of money for what I do. And besides that, I love what I do. I love finding your family history. I just had a person who came to me because he was referred to me, and he wants to find his Confederate ancestry. So if you want to come to me to find your Confederates or your Union soldiers or your royalty or whatever, your criminals, I found those. Just reach out to me. I'm very cheap.
He found royalty for me, but I don't think I've ever said this, but Saul must have been the stupidest person I could think of because he had a chance to be the king of Poland for more than the 24 hours that he was. I mean, what I really want to find out is, what did he do during the 24 hours that he was king?
But too, is that the wealthy man who Saul helped with the food and clothes and so forth. The wealthy man gathered up behind him a bunch of other wealthy men who had soldiers, and that's why he was able to then take back the monarchy, so he would be king.
Okay.
And not Saul. And Saul didn't want to be king.
He didn't want to be. Saul was a rabbi, from what you said.
And he was happy with that lifestyle. So he didn't want to be. Now, if he had a military behind him, they would go to war. What's the sense of that? So Saul, for one day, lived a life of luxury and went back to doing what he's doing. So anyway, I got to get going.
All right, Randy. Always a pleasure. All right. Randy Rhodes, All Roads Lead to Home Genealogy. It's a group on the Facebook side. It's private. You do have to join, or the Randall Rhodes profile. There are more than one, so make sure you are talking to the right one when you talk to him. Ask him a question. I think he said right now it's 89 cents a day, so less than the price of a cup of coffee. if that's what you want to, how you want to look at it. If you're like me and you drink Maxwell House with a shot of caramel chocolate flavoring in it, it might be 89 cents if it is that high. I really don't know. My wife Donna makes it for me every day. I don't do much in the kitchen because I tend to get in the way. But anyway, where are we? It's Friday. Go have a fantastic weekend. There was a rare Saturday morning Boogie with the Bull at 10 a.m. planned. It's in a holding pattern right now because I may need to be with my wife to help her. So I don't know if we will be able to do the broadcast. People always say, well, go and do the broadcast from there. Well, I could go and do the broadcast from there, but I try to stay out of the way when I'm there. I have a lot of fun. Other people have a lot of fun. I do meet enough people to go away from the booth and talk politics every once in a while when that comes up. But the beautiful hand crocheted items that will amaze everybody. I could show you a bunch of red, white, and blue stuff, but what comes to mind is Cupcake the Eagle and his friend, who we haven't yet named. This one we haven't yet named. This one is Cupcake the Eagle. And they are $8 each, $16 for the pair. You can talk to my wife, Donna, on the Family Treasures page here on Facebook. Has a crocheted chicken as the profile picture. You can also go to the page and reach out to my wife, Donna, or our daughter-in-law, and tell them what you are looking for and about how much you want to spend. And hopefully you're able to do business with them. Because doing business is what I guess life can be about sometimes. My business is sitting here and just spouting and bringing other people to spout. So come and join me Monday, Wednesday, Friday with Randy Rhodes at 10 a.m. Come and join me Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. with Randy Rhodes and whoever else joins me. And we don't always get a lot of people on the 10 a.m. broadcast, but we're working hard. Right now, we got 73 people watching. I don't know where they are. I really don't. I wish I knew where they were because they are not in live chat. And I hope when people are watching, you go to the live chat because I don't care who you are. So if you're hiding in the live chat, I'm just going to, if you're hiding, watching because you don't want to come into the live chat, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm going to thank you for watching. I'm going to go, oh, hey, William Lockett is watching right now. And he's a good guy. He's up in Alaska. I can't remember where he said he is, but he's up in Alaska. And he's a good guy to talk to. I got a heart emoticon from William I see this morning. And maybe one of these days we'll have him on the program again. It's hard to invite people on to the 10 a.m. broadcast because I don't know if Facebook is going to let you see it that day. 74 people is a lot to me, but it's not a lot in the course of broadcasting. And I really don't care. I'm a retired radio guy, so all I saw was a computer screen and a microphone, and did whatever we wanted to do. But, if you want to come on and you got something to say, please come on and say it. Come into the live chat and tell me that you want to come on. And most of the time, we'll bring you on. That's Randy Rhodes' job. He is responsible for sending the links out once I send the link to him, only because I'm having an issue that I can't seem to We just have Randy do it when we're doing it. If you're watching the broadcast today, like I said, give it a thumbs up if you liked it and share it to as many people as you can. If you didn't like the broadcast, give it a thumbs down and share it to as many people as you can on Facebook too. If you want to share it off of Facebook on the internet, go to the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. And once you find it, find that broadcast that you want to share. There's a whole gazillion of them on there, so you could share all of them if you really want to. But find the live one, because they don't always put them in order. Find the live one and share it anywhere on the internet you want. It will redirect you to the YouTube channel. If you don't want to be there, say no. If you want to be there, say yes. And then you can take it and you can share it. That's just the way it is. For off the internet, we try to share it off of Facebook, we try to share it off the Boogie with Bull YouTube channel and build it. We do not ask you for money, but money is always appreciated. And if you feel guilty and you need to give guilt money, then sure. Sure. We are trying to raise about $250, only because I did a stupid thing. I had my cup of coffee next to a brand new Windows 11 Pro laptop, 15.6 inch screen, all the bells and whistles, 16 gigabyte of RAM. And I dumped it on the keyboard. And then I picked up the cup, and for some unknown reason, I dumped it on the keyboard again. And then I did it one more time, and I basically fried the keyboard to the point where it cannot be repaired. So if a benefactor wants to come through and help me with the anywhere between $259 and $239, because it goes on sale all the time, I would appreciate that very much. But if anyone has a Windows 10 or Windows 11, they don't use it, I would very much appreciate the donation if that is what you wanted to do, because I just don't ask for your money. But anyway, we're coming up on an hour and 15 minutes, and that's been enough of me griping. Go out there and make it a fantastic weekend, have a whole lot of fun. If we can, there will be a rare Saturday morning Boogie with the Bull. If we can't, then we'll be back on Monday morning at 10 a.m. with the next morning caffeine. Thank you very much. Otherwise, I'm going to sit here all day and bore you to death with a lot of things that you might not need to know. So we'll hit this one, and we'll hit this one.